welcome.
This is Talk Comics to Me again. I mean, you're not watching this one after the other, but we're recording.
We're
right
recording
after
it,
each
yeah.
other.
It is 8:30.
So, yeah, we are just doing a quick little recap of some books from... Oops, that's a calculator. The week of the 12th.
Yeah.
We just kind of picked out some of our favorites so we could quickly go over it and just... Yeah,
That's it.
So, I'm Champ.
Heather.
And let's go!
We're going to talk. So, this is Buffy, the Last Vampire Slayer. This is issue number 2.
And this book is surprisingly good, which is why I wanted to talk about it, because I know I always talk about the Buffy main series and how much I fucking hate it. But I always really have enjoyed a lot of these like side stories or one-offs, and this is probably one of the better ones that have come out. I really love the art. I love the way the story is told quite a bit, and like how they're intertwining old characters. I love Tara. Tara's one of my absolutely favorite characters. To see her here and thriving, alive.
Yeah.
That made me feel really great. I think that might have been one of my favorite parts of this, but I just really do think it's interesting, like, what they're doing with, like, the Watchers and Buffy and the daughter of Willow and Tara.
I also love that. My favorite part about this is how it's a grown-ass Buffy and she still talks like 90s Buffy. I love that. I absolutely love that.
It feels real.
I know. I was going to say, it's the Buffy that I grew up with, whereas like the one in the or the Buffy series, the main series, it doesn't feel like Buffy, and it is because it's not supposed to be the Buffy that we grew up with. It's just a different version of Buffy. But this one feels like the one that I watched growing up, and it's
really good.
I like it.
Yeah, so I would highly suggest this if you like Buffy the Vampire Slayer. You don't have to, I mean, even if you don't, if you're just like, I'm curious about Buffy, I think you could just kind of run right in here. I guess you wouldn't have like, I know who these characters are, but I don't know, it's good.
I would suggest this if you've watched the show, not read the comics.
Yeah.
Because obviously there is a difference, and again, it's the same characters.
But it's so good.
Yeah.
So much better than the main title. Don't suggest that.
Don't
suggest
do it.
this.
Yep.
So Buffy, the Last Vampire Slayer.
It's going to be 5 issues?
I think
5 or 6. Yeah. It's just a cute little limited series. We're curious to see what's going to happen.
Same. Especially with one of our favorite characters in the end.
Yeah, it was a cute little surprise.
Yeah, it was a cute little surprise.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, same. I was just like, I flipped the page and I was like, oh, shit.
I think, so I also read Angel number 1 today.
That's good.
Which was very interesting, but as like I was telling Champ, I feel like I need to go back and finish the last Angel series, the one that turned into Angel and Spike, because the relationship between those two in this new Angel series felt like it had already been built, and I felt like I kind of missed something. So I'm gonna have to go back and do that. But also, I am reading a Buffy book right now that just came out called In Every Generation, I think it's called. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a new YA Buffy book that is out, and it reminds me a lot of this just because of the characters, how they're being developed within the story. So I'm reading a lot of Buffy stuff right now. It's all good. I'm really enjoying every single Buffy thing that I'm reading. That's all. Oh, okay. I have Miss Marvel. This is issue number 2, Beyond the Limit. This is a 5-part series. Basically, something happens to Miss Marvel where she ends up in a different dimension, or another version of her ends up in her world. This other version of her is causing chaos wherever she goes. But yeah, this does have Loki in it, but not in a way that you think. It's just a dream that she sees him, and he's just kind of being fucking Loki.
God, I heard it's so good.
It's super good. But she finds herself trapped in this weird musical Bali world version of her own world, which is why Loki's there. She thinks that Loki has something to do with it because it's just something so absurd. Weird, but it's not. There's more to it than that. So I'm really enjoying this. I did not know what to expect going into it because I've never really read much Miss Marvel. I've read 2 issues before, and it was only because it was a Loki thing, and I was reading it for a Loki thing that I was doing. But I really enjoy this.
All right, that's good to hear.
It is so much fun. It's
well, good.
Yeah, it's great.
I like that. Okay, so we Ride Titans, which I've been calling this book all sorts of things, and none of them have been right. So yeah, We Ride Titans, not We Ride Trans or We Ride Trains.
May I see it?
We Ride Titans.
We Ride Titans.
Oh wait, hold on.
Yes.
Give me a second. This is actually, the book is by Trez Dean and then Sebastian Pires. Yeah, and then D. Caniff does the colors. The same colorist who does Crossover.
Okay.
The art and colors were one of my favorite parts of this book. Anyway, so it is about kaiju and mechs.
I think that's why I didn't. I didn't read it.
Mechs are keeping the kaiju out of the city. One of the mechs drivers is kind of going through some shit, and this is about bringing the family together.
So it's Fast and Furious,
but with mechs.
and kaiju.
Yeah.
Instead of car racing.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it.
Okay.
When I read it, or after I finished, I guess. But I'm gonna add this to my pull file. But look, because
yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
I wanted to talk about this book because I had a really good time with this book. I had a better time than I thought I would because I don't like mechs and I don't really like kaiju or like care about stories and that
right
within those fiction worlds. But there's something about this I did really like, and I can't quite pinpoint it. Like, the story is very well told, despite the things about it that were
silly,
overtly put in.
Right.
I won't say it because I don't want to ruin it for anyone, but I would be prepared for a little bit of silliness in there. But yeah.
Oh, yes, I remember. I remember now. Okay, so
Yes, yeah. And I mean, you said that without even remembering the whole thing.
Yep. You just said family, and that's always what I think of now with family is Fast and the Furious.
But yeah, I thought the story was really well told. I felt not necessarily connected to the characters immediately, but I felt the dynamic and what was going on really quickly. But yeah, the art is so good. I think that's also a part of it. It just draws you in real. I didn't know if I'd like the art when I first started, just with some things, but I don't know. There's something about it that really, really fits and touches really well. And I don't know, the colors are also just really great. So yeah, I enjoyed myself. I think it's definitely worth a pickup.
How many issues is it going to be? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Okay. Stay tuned.
But I mean, with Vault Books right now too, I'd just say be patient because I know they've been having periods of time between issues and stuff.
Right.
For the most part. I mean, I felt like this was supposed to come out a few months ago, but I might have been wrong.
I vaguely remember reading something about it before, but I couldn't tell you when. Time does not exist to me.
Yeah, but yeah, a good pickup. I think it's worth at least the first issue. But yeah, that's it. I think if you do like mech and kaiju, then it should be right up your alley.
Okay. Cool. Okay.
All right, so next we have Department of Truth. This is issue number 15. We couldn't go a week when this came out without talking about it. That'd just be rude.
Yeah, no, there was a lot in this issue that it's a lot to read. So the issue itself is an interview with someone within the Department of Truth who is kind of branching out, doing something they're not supposed to. So this issue is transcripts of an interview with that particular person of the things that he was doing and the things that he experienced and what he thinks about those things. So it deals with a couple of things within this issue. There's a lot about the Mothman in here, and then a lot about Indrid Cold, which I was just telling Champ about that. This is one of Indrid Cold within the ufology world is one of my favorite myths, I guess. one of my favorite things to read about when I was very, very into UFOs and the sightings and everything that had to do with it, the Blue Book, all of that kind of stuff. That was my favorite thing about it, just because of how eerie it was. So if you don't know who Indrid Cold is, Indrid Cold was a humanoid, is how a lot of people describe him, who was first witnessed, I guess, in the late 60s in West Virginia. Anytime that Indrid Cold has been seen, it's in a place of a lot of UFO activity. A lot of people think that Indrid Cold had something to do with the Men in Black, or they think that he was actually like a humanoid himself, and he was very eerie. He was always smiling a lot. He just had a very unreal appearance. Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
Very much. But yeah, the person within the Department of Truth, I can't remember his name. Crazy, I can remember everything else about this issue except his name. Dalton Hines. Yeah, he's being interviewed about it, and he's explaining kind of the weird things that have been happening to him and how it's been affecting Lee as well, Lee Oswald. Yeah. But yeah, no, I absolutely love this issue. I was honestly a couple issues ago kind of disappointed because I thought we were going to get more into Ruby Ridge, but I feel like they made up for it with this one with my boy Indrid Cold. That's all I wanted to say about it. So
what I have to say, I mean, I know one of my favorite things about like books and comics, and this book specifically too, is like the craft in it is so good. Like, it's just such a well put together book, and I love the way, like, that's what I texted you about it, asking how, like, if it was like a lot of words. So it was like good to have you tell me that, because Department of Truth tends to be a lot of words, and this is a lot of words. But I really love the like letters. Like, I love the way that looks, and even this stuff like on the page is just really like how this is put together, like quite a bit, just like with the files and like the stuff above it.
Yeah, I was pissed. I was pissed when I opened it because it was like one of the last books that I read. I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted. And when I opened it, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? That was when I texted you. I was like, this is a whole ass book now.
Yeah, no, and it is literally a book. And I don't know, there's like...
It never felt like I was reading too much.
Yeah, and that's it. It's just like, it's overwhelming, but it's just like, once you get into it, you're just like, you're so enveloped in like what's going on, and it's such a well-told story. Like, I think the letters do like make it feel like it's a real like ass document that you're reading, which I think is a really cool aspect. The art is by David Romero. Is that what it was? Yeah, David Romero. And his art is so good too. Like, it fits so well with like Martin Simmons' work and how like Department looks overall. Yeah, I know. Like, just every issue of this book is so good. I don't fucking get it.
I know that.
I don't understand. Like, it blows my mind every time, and it like almost, it doesn't piss me off, but I don't think I've ever enjoyed something to like this level. Like, every time I read it.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's the fact that it is conspiracy theories, and it's told in such a way that, like, it's boggling. But, like, I was going to say about the art in this as well is, like, the fact that it is a different artist than who normally does it, but each page is a photograph, essentially, an artist's rendition of this event that happened. Like, it's not a story per se, like, in that sense. It is pictures. It's you're opening a file, and it's the photograph of what that conversation is about. And it was very interesting to read it in that way, because normally we're getting panels, we're getting like the story as it's being told rather than the story as it was told with the photographs as evidence. Like,
no, that's why I really like this issue. Like, that's why I'm saying just like the craft of it.
It's so good.
And it's just like that team had to come together and like make it, and like
brilliant.
Just like fucking so good. It
pisses me off.
It does. It makes me so mad. I'm gonna throw this comic against the wall.
This is bullshit.
But yeah, I just like this book every time. Fuck me, man. Fuck me. 2 thumbs up. If I had more thumbs, I would give it all the thumbs I have.
Add mine.
We've got 4 thumbs.
They're way up.
But yeah, it's just it's so easy to sell this book to people too. Like, anytime I start talking about it at the shop, like, if people are like, oh, what horror book should I read? It's like, okay.
This is very uneasy. Read this.
If you want your skin to fucking crawl, here you go.
You thought this was fake? Read this. This will make you question everything.
Fuck you, James.
Piece of shit.
No, we love you. Please never stop making comics. You're great at it.
I will hate you if you stop. This is What's the Furthest Place From Here? This is issue number 3. This is a Matthew Rosenberg, Tyler Boss joint with, who knows the colors? Or the lettering? Hassan Otsmani El Ho? I'm so sorry, I butchered that. Hassan does the lettering. I don't want to destroy the last name again, so pretend I didn't say it the first time.
The colors in this book are so good.
I know.
This book is great. I really do like it. I like the dynamic between all of the characters. They get to basically an old folks' home. They think it's empty.
I absolutely lost my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I was laughing so hard from this. The group makes it to an old folks home where another group is already living there, existing, and
I didn't laugh when this happened. Oh, this shit was wild.
Fuck no. No, I just laughed when they first, like, show up and it's these young kids dressed as old people. Like, they shaved their heads and they were like, no, we decided we're old now, so that's what we are.
Yeah.
And it shows them. I cannot. Yeah, I cannot believe this.
It is a really good story. I like I can't quite figure out what's going on. Mm-mm. And that's what I think I like about it the most, is because it's like, it gives you the pieces in a way that, like, it's not like you're fucking blind to it or you don't understand it, but it's just...
Like, they know no adults exist in this world, but we don't. Like, we don't know why. Like, why are they not there? Like, why have they never seen a grown-up in their lives? Like, why did this happen?
And then there's this one, like, all of the adults we have seen, or the people who are coming into adulthood, are also getting, like, really sick.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, the strangers who are, like, these weird, like, adult-type creatures who are involved with, like, everything that's happening. It's
very strange. It's like a weird... nuclear post-apocalyptic world with children gangs, but none of it makes sense. Like, I love it. I love the mystery of it.
Yeah, I love that. I love the art. I love the story. It's such a good... I don't know, I was excited about it in the first place, but it's just been a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And if I ever get those records, I'll be even happier.
One day.
One day
we'll get them.
Adele, I'm mad at you.
Adele, you piece of shit with your sad-ass music. No one wants that. Not apparently, like, 34,000 people wanted that.
But didn't she, like, print, like, over a million? Like,
and I doubt they were all bought. That's why I said that. Because I bet that's just as many as were bought.
But anyway.
Whatever. Yeah. I'm just being bitter because I wanted my fucking record... 2 songs on it. You couldn't, like, let us have just 2 songs?
So, yeah, Adele, if you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but please don't do that again to us.
You don't need to use that much vinyl.
There's a shortage on everything, though.
A majority of your listeners are, well, I guess that's a lie. A majority of your listeners are people in their 30s who do collect vinyl, so I get it.
Because they don't...
I fucking get it. They're sad-ass adults.
As we're, like, talking about collecting vinyl with a comic book.
Yeah, but...
It's different.
It's different, dude. I'm different. All right, I'm going to talk about this one. This is Odin's Eye. This is the last issue. This is Bad Idea. It's their story. I did not read the story at the end because I did not care about it. But basically, the main character, Solveig, is being spoken to by Odin. So her goal is to figure out what happened to his eye, which contains the knowledge that she needs. She's trying to get it back to him. She has the help of 2 of her friends. Well, one of her friends, and one of them was a man that she had escaped from a previous cult with, who makes it his life to protect her because he feels like he needs to. I loved this ending because it was so open. Like, there was no real conclusion to it.
All right.
She is visited by Odin's daughters, who are Valkyrie, and one of them is like, you know what, I like your spirit, I'm gonna help you. And they just kind of leave together. There's more to it, obviously, but I loved that because she doesn't know. Like, she doesn't know. She thinks it's hopeless, but she's going to help them anyway.
Yeah.
And, yeah, she saves her life, and they all leave together on their little horses and their boat. I just thought it was very cute.
Yeah.
I thought it was... I just really love how it ended.
Well, good.
Yeah. It says, gods do not care about the small details of being human. The gods only want blood and sacrifice. I just thought the ending was really good. The story itself was shockingly good. It was so good. It's probably one of the best stories that I've ever read, and it's just because it was very violent, and there was the plot was just very intricate, but like I said, it just kind of ended on this weird, like, oh, you get to decide kind of like what happens, because those
are my favorite type of endings.
Yeah, because there is not necessarily a happy ending. Like, a character dies, like their mission was not completed. It's just very much like, all right, what now?
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really good, and for a Bad Idea book, who I've enjoyed several others, but not to this extent.
All right, dude.
Yeah,
that makes me happy for you.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Very good.
Yeah. All right, so now I have The Good Asian. This is issue number 8. I do not think this is a book to sleep on. I know it's only going to be 10 issues. We'll talk about that in the end. So that was nice. This issue is so wildly different from all of the other issues, because you're not necessarily following the same characters, but it is so good. I read this morning or last night, and it was really interesting. It's a really good mystery. The way the mystery is put together is really good. I don't know what else to say about it, because it is like almost done, but if you like detective stories, I think it's worth it. I think the art is so good. I don't know how to describe it, because it is a detective story that's like straight up. It's just a detective noir story, but it's also dealing with things that things that have happened in the past that are real. And this like particular issue, the author talks about it in the end, about how like this is the first issue where he's kind of strayed from history, like, and things that have not actually happened, because he wanted to, I don't know, because of things that are going on currently, kind of wanted to talk about like this stuff, so he inserted it into this story. And his editor was like, hey, I think you have more to say, like, do you need an extra issue, basically? And he was like, let me try it.
Give it to me.
So yeah, it is so good, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone. And I think if we ever talk about our like top comics of last year, like, I'd probably get more into it, but A+. Okay. I love that story.
Good.
It's weird. Yeah.
Very weird detective story.
Weird detective story. Okay, so now we have Rain. This is issue number 1.
This is a Joe Hill story.
Yeah, this is actually based off of a Joe Hill prose. It's adapted by David Booher, and the art is by Zoe Thorogood, and the colors are by Chris O'Halloran, and Sean Lee does the letters. I sold a lot of this book last week because I loved this book. I don't think I read the solicit for this book. I think I just like straight up added it to my pull file without even caring. And so when I read it, I went into it very, very blind, and I was absolutely blown away. I've always loved Zoe Thorogood's art since I started following her, like, 2 years ago? 3 years ago or so. And the art in this is so... I think it's the colors as well, but, like, it's a little bit... Like, it's her style, but it's also different. And I like it. I don't know. The art is beautiful. The colors are beautiful. The story is beautiful as well. Like, the way it's, like, written is very fluid. And you're very drawn to the main character, like, right away.
Right. So the premise.
Yeah, go ahead.
The book.
I don't know. I don't want to talk about the premise because I think you should just go into it blind. But
yeah, no, I'm not going to say much about it. But it's, you know what? No, you're right. We're not going to say anything about it.
It's a love story.
Yes.
Or it is about love.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't necessarily say a love story, but it is just a story about love, and about things being taken away from you.
I guess a little interesting thing about this book, besides all the dumb stuff I just said, is that this is kind of the beginning of a new publishing company. What is this called? Wait,
Sister? I can't pronounce it. Syzygy.
And I think it'll be... I'm really excited because they did a nice little, like, backstory that's going to be part of their publishing company too, or at least just like a little bit. And I thought that was cool. I really like the little back matter. And I don't know, I'm excited to see what more they put out. So
it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, so if you want us to read your stuff, we'll email you, or you can email us, talkcomicstome666@gmail.com.
I forget that's our email. That's so good.
We will review your books and whatever you put out because
I
love the shit out of that.
Yeah.
So you did it. Boom, boom, boom. So yeah, that's all we have for our favorites last week. Rain is probably my number one for like anyone to pick up out of all of the stuff we talked about tonight.
Yeah, mine too, probably.
Even last week's books.
Yeah.
Like that and Department of Truth are probably like right up there. Like Bolero's
good.
great.
Yeah. Primordial. Yeah. No, we had some good books the last couple weeks, and they're only going to get better because we love comics.
And that's all we have. So thank you for listening. Go support your local comic book shops. Go support your local libraries. Take care of your friends. Do good things.
Love each other.
Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well,
I got nothing.
We'll see you on the flippity flip.
Bye.